Hi everybody, and welcome to our show from this Corner TV. I'm your host Marilyn Dayton, and I'm so happy you're back with us. It is the holiday season, and I've got a very special Christmas holiday, Hanukkah holiday gift for you. Our guest today is a very special gal that I met earlier this year and found extremely fascinating. And so I'm going to introduce her to you. Her name is Jessica Ferrol, and she's an Ayurvedic specialist. I hate that word, but it's a good thing. She's an herbalist, Panchakarma specialist. This is going to be fun, I guarantee. And a registered yoga therapist who's been practicing for over a decade with her own private Ayurvedic consulting practice. She's going to say it and then you'll know. She serves as a master teacher in the distance learning program at the California College of Ayurveda, where she'd studied. She's involved in several yoga teacher training programs in Rhode Island. She lives and works in the Pawcatuck Westerly area. Teaching the Ayurvedic portion of the training. Of course, we have that word in here a lot of times. She also heads the national, here it is again, Ayurvedic Medical Association's Herbal Community of Practice, which acts as a support group for the professionals involved in this, I guess you could call it ancient healing practice, who use herbs in their private practices. So this is Jessica. How wonderful that you were able to join us. I'm thrilled.
Me too. Thank you very much for having me.
Well, before we talk about what you do, let's talk a little bit about who you are. You are a woman that balances things very well.
Thank you.
You not only have your own business, you are going to school to get a master's, and you can tell us about that in a minute, but you also have a husband and a family, and you have quite a few children, if I remember right.
I have three.
That's quite a few, okay. And anything more than one. There's a lot of kids.
Anything more than zero.
Yes, actually. So you are someone who knows about balance, and isn't this Ayurvedic practice, isn't this to help you kind of balance your life and everything?
Absolutely. I think of Ayurveda as the cushions, on either side of my crazy life. So when I say cushions, they're kind of like, it's the bookends of life. I begin every day doing my Ayurvedic practices, and that sets me up both physically and mentally for the day. And then I end every day doing my Ayurvedic practices, and I love it because no matter where I am, I'm doing the same thing. I do the same thing for my children too. They're routined in both sides of their day as well. And what it does is it sets you up to be able to handle whatever happens in the interim, because we don't know what's going to happen in life. It's unpredictable. So, if we just have these bookends, then we feel good, we're ready to go.
So when you say this practice that you do in the morning and the evening, and it's your special one specifically for you, can you just share with us a little bit about what that involves?
Yes.
Just to give people an idea.
Yes. Now, it definitely has changed over my lifetime. So it was different when I was single, and then it was different when I was married, and then as the children came along and with their school schedule, it changes as well. And that's part of why I love this practice that Ayurveda and yoga offer us, because it's flexible. So my mornings begin with a self-massage, a self-oil massage with an herbal oil, and that's a body massage. It not only nourishes your skin, all the layers of your skin, but it also moves my lymphatic system. So I specifically do it to get my lymphatic system moving, and it wakes me up. And it's nourishing. So the first thing that happens in the morning is a beautiful act of love.
How great is that?
It's wonderful. I say to my family, I don't leave the bathroom in the morning without my oil on. And then, of course, there's tongue scraping involved, too. So there's an oral part, an oral care part of Ayurveda, too. which involves tongue scraping, massaging the gums with sesame oil to keep them nice and plump and pink. And then there's my yoga practice, and that's where I stay flexible, depending on who's awake or what is going on that morning. My yoga practice, I have now mastered a 5-minute to 1 hour yoga practice, depending on what's happening in the morning.
Wow. 5 minutes to 1 hour. Okay.
If it's 5 minutes, usually followed by a walk in the morning, because I can get out of the house and I know that can happen without interruption.
And that's, so it sounds like it's physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, almost like an awakening for your body, soul, mind, practice that you do.
Yeah.
If you, for some reason, don't do it in the morning, on a very rare occasion, do you feel different? Yes,
I do. With the Abhyanga, with the self-massage, if that doesn't happen, you just feel sluggish.
Oh,
if the yoga doesn't happen, I can feel it in my skeleton. You just feel kind of tight everywhere. You feel like things aren't moving smoothly.
Exactly. It's just like someone who normally does some exercising in the morning. If you decide, okay, I have a 7 o'clock breakfast meeting and I can't do it, then you're going to sit there at that meeting and you go, oh, my body's talking to me, in a bad way. And of course, lymphatic drainage is very important. I have that done by someone on a fairly regular basis. And it's amazing, the result that it does on your body. So what a wonderful way to start the day.
Absolutely. And neti pot, the using of the neti pot, which is nasal cleansing.
Oh yeah, I've seen that done. My grandkids do it, and I go, oh,
oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's when they've got a cold or something going on.
It's really meant for everyday usage.
Really?
Not only is it care for the filter of our body, but it also helps to drain the sinuses and all the channels of the head, so your mind feels very clear and fresh as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And for everyone listening, it's important to put some sesame oil on the insides of your nostrils after you neti as well.
Oh, really? Sesame oil. Okay, so you've got some oils. We're going to be talking about those, right, during this discussion. Sure. And so one thing I want to say right now, okay, don't go too far, too long. Grab your pen and your paper, okay. You need to write some things down as we're talking. It's really fascinating. And there's also going to be almost like a little interactive game that we're going to do during this too, which is really kind of cool and fun. So, okay, let's start. Oh, wait a minute. Didn't talk about your nighttime routine.
We didn't. And I want to mention, Marilyn, in my practice with my clients, when I first start working with my clients, the first time I meet with them, it's about a 3-hour meeting. Okay. So I'm not only determining their Ayurvedic constitution, we're also talking about any imbalances or symptoms that they're experiencing. I'm getting a history background, as well as understanding what that experience is for them. But I'm also getting to know them and their current lifestyle, because I want to make these recommendations in their morning work for them. I don't, if they only have 10 minutes in the morning, we work with it. We pick what we're going to fit in that 10 minutes, how we're going to do it with ease, because I don't like people to be stressed out.
Nobody wants to be stressed out.
No. So, all of these things, if they feel like they're a lot to do, they don't have to be. They really don't. You can fit them in really snugly and nicely, and they'll just become part of who you are. It's almost like you don't leave the house without brushing your teeth.
Exactly.
It'll be part of that.
And it's so important to take care of ourselves. We must put ourselves first at certain times of the day, okay? Write that down. Put yourself first. Start your day taking care of you, okay? You deserve it. You should do it. So, okay, at the end of the day, what do you normally kind of do?
At the end of the evening, once the children are to sleep, I sit and I meditate. This is my wind down time. So I'll start off with alternate nostril breathing. This is a pranayama. It's called pranayama. It's a breathing technique that is for balancing the channels of the mind.
Oh.
So it's a lovely technique, and if people at home with their pens want to write something like this down really simply, they don't necessarily have to practice alternate nostril breathing. They can just put their hands on their bellies. They can lie down if that's more comfortable and just feel their abdomen lift when they inhale and relax when they exhale. And doing that simple focus, just bringing your awareness to your breath, it takes off years of your life. It feels like a mini vacation if you can really just get there and let everything else kind of drift away. So that's the first thing I do to unwind at night.
Now, I know that when you do Tai Chi, when you do yoga, you concentrate on breathing correctly. And so that's a part of, okay, that's a great way to start it. Continue, please.
And if I may,
yes,
that it's not so much correctly, it's just gently bringing your awareness. Because it does feel strange thinking about your breath at first. I remember when I first started this practice, and I was introduced to it simply with the belly, and I remember thinking, oh, I'm not breathing. It was just very odd, and uncomfortable.
Oh.
So it's just a real gentle, just notice your breath. Don't change it, don't deepen it, don't judge it. Just, oh wow, this is what it feels like to breathe.
And do it consciously.
Just almost watch it like a child watches something they've seen for the first time, with that same curiosity, all your attention. The breath comes in the nose, down the throat, fills the lungs, comes back up. Try to see if you could feel your diaphragm moving, but don't control it. Just, oh, interesting. Just like that, a playful curiosity.
Yeah.
It melts the stress away.
Yes, it does. I'm doing it right now, as a matter of fact. As you're talking, I'm sitting here breathing. Okay.
I hope so.
Yes, if I stop, please, alert the authorities. Call Frank and say, Frank, call 911. Okay, sorry. Okay, so you're relaxing and meditating and breathing. Is there anything else that you do?
So then I will do a meditation. There's so many beautiful meditations to choose from out there. So I will tend to glob onto a meditation for a few weeks, and when I get kind of tired of that, or when my mind gets tired of it, the same old thing, then my mind starts chatting, I'll pick another thing to meditate on. Sometimes it's as simple as gazing at a candle. Really simple things. Sometimes it's closing my eyes and bringing the focus of my eyes in between my eyebrows. Very simple points of focus to pick. Sometimes it's counting the breath. And after that, I'll either stretch if I'm feeling any tightness from the day, or I'll begin my preparation for bed. And this involves doing nasya, which is the application of oil into the nose.
Okay.
I know, these things are very different.
Sounds, a little, but
in
there's a reason for it.
In Ayurveda, we put oil everywhere.
Yes, you do.
Oil. And then I will go ahead and do my normal preparations for the evening, washing up, and then once I get into bed, I do just some gentle stretching. I usually will gift myself with something at this point. So either this is going to be a foot massage, or I will massage my ears. And again, I encourage everyone to write this down and try this out. This is foreign to us, but if you just massage your ears and really just let that happen, however your body's telling you to let it happen, it's incredibly relaxing. The ears are a map of the body, just as the hands are and the feet. So you're hitting a lot of points when you massage the ears.
I love it.
Yeah. Or I'll gift myself with a head massage.
Oh, that's the best.
Or yoga nidra, which is relaxing different parts of your body, consciously feeling your toes, feeling the tops of your feet, feeling the bottoms of your feet. Can I feel the muscle in my calf? And as you do this, again, you're bringing your mind into inside of your body, and it really just calms the mind and lets all the dramas and excitement of the day just drift away, and you come here. Or sometimes I float myself on a cloud, like my grandmother used to do for me when I would go to sleep at night and or take a nap and I was having trouble going to sleep. She would come in and float me on a cloud.
Oh, that's cool.
She was probably my first meditation teacher.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful. What a wonderful thought.
Yeah.
And a child would love that.
I've definitely passed that on.
Well, let's talk about this amazingly interesting process that you're such a specialist in. Ayurveda. Did I say it right?
You did. Beautifully.
Okay, where does it come from? How long has it been around?
It comes from India. Its date is not, they don't know the date 100%, but they've settled on somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 years ago.
Okay, it's old.
It's old. It comes from a body of knowledge called the Vedas, which is a body of knowledge put forth by an enlightened group called the Rishis. They were almost like the shaman of the community.
Ah.
And Veda means knowledge. So literally in this body of knowledge, you will find everything from yoga, to Ayurveda, to how to build a house, to politics, to grammar. Just everything is within this body of knowledge. It's amazing.
Wow. Okay. So what does the Ayurveda portion involve?
It involves, well, Ayurveda literally means knowledge of life. So it's the human experience of life. So it's a study of the human on all three levels: the physical body, our emotional body, and our spirit self. And the health of that.
Okay. Now, aren't there three different types of... everyone is unique. Every person on this earth is unique. And so Ayurveda would mean something a little bit different to each and every one of us. But aren't there three different, what would you call, categories?
Three different doshas, they're typically called. Three different energies that make up the physical body. And those are Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And we each have these energies within us, these building blocks of the physical body, if you will. But we have them in different amounts.
Ah, okay.
So one person might have 80% Kapha in them, and 20% Pitta, or 15% Pitta, and maybe 5% Vata. And so they will care for their physical body according to what those levels of the doshas are within their body. Their needs will be different than another person who has a different mix. So their food will be different, their exercise will be different, their massage oil will be different.
Ah.
What time they wake up will be different.
Wow. This is, but what do these three things mean?
Well, Vata is literally in the body. It's the movement of the body. It's the energy of the body. It's that which moves us. So it's what moves our nervous system, what moves our thoughts, what moves our heart to pump, which moves peristalsis, in the GI tract, the digestive system. If it's moving, it's Vata. And Vata is also expansiveness. So it's emptiness. In the mind, it can be expansiveness of the mind, your ability to be creative, to really think out of the box. Literally in the physical body, it can be empty space, like a gas bubble.
I have a gas bubble, people.
It's Vata.
But it's okay, it's Vata. Okay. Okay.
So Vata people will be people that have a lot of energy, move a lot. Their bodies will be light in weight because of all that space. And they're very creative. They are artists, singers, dancers. When they walk into the room, It's almost as if they're floating or dancing in their room. They're very energetic and they light up places with their energy.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what about Pitta?
So Pitta in the body. Yeah, Pitta. Pitta in the body is the ability of the body to transform things. So things come into the body through the senses. Okay, so the easiest to understand is food. Food comes into the body, sense of taste. And it, first we break it down with our teeth. But then for the rest of the time, the food mainly gets broken down through the heat of the bile and the digestive enzymes and the acids. That energy, that ability, that heat within those secretions is Pitta. Pitta is the ability to break things down and transform them into something else. And that in that process, we're transforming it into components that are small enough so that we can absorb it into the body. Otherwise, through the other senses, like, for example, the sense of hearing. Right now, my voice is making noises, my vocal cords are making noises, and they're coming into your ear, and your ear is delivering those noises up to your brain that is transforming those noises into knowledge, into words, into something that you can understand, into information. And that's Pitta's job. Much like a fire, like a campfire. Whatever you put into the fire, it transforms.
Wow. Interesting. Okay. Now, how about Kapha?
So Kapha people are, Kapha in and of itself is the elements, the building blocks of all matter. So it's all liquid matter and all solid matter. So here we have an example. Well, with all three of these, we all need the power to transform. We all need movement. And we all need to be made up of some kind of matter. Right?
Yeah. Or we are not here.
Or we are not here. Now, people who have a lot of Kapha in them, their bodies are going to have a lot of matter to them. So they're going to have beautiful, thick bones, lovely, thick skin, thick hair, thick lips, big eyes. Their muscles are going to be big and round and super strong. These people are the people that when you hug them and you embrace them, it's like embracing a safe pillow or a teddy bear. They're very sweet. So their bodies, it's not only their bodies that are strong and stable, but their mind is very strong and stable. Kapha people are dependable. They're not quick to get angry or quick to get excited. They're steady. They're very steady. Not in a rush to do anything. And if a Kapha tells you they're going to do something, they will indeed do it.
Good to know. Okay, now let's start applying that to yourself. What kind of percentages do you have? And then we're going to talk about me, because I think I know it. But anyway, how are these three things categorized or percentage in you?
I am pretty much neck and neck, Vata and Pitta, with a very, very little bit of Kapha. So in order to keep myself balanced, I bring in Kapha qualities through my senses. So these attributes, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, don't just apply to our physical being, but they also apply to everything in creation, from colors to food to herbs to oil. So we can look at this color here, this dark green color, and this is a very heavy color. So its qualities are more Kapha.
Yes.
Right.
I can see that, yeah. Or I can feel it, actually, which is interesting. So it would affect everything we do, the percentages that are in each of us. We would dress differently, we would have different colors that we wear, there would be different things that we are attracted to and look for. But the cool thing here is that with your help, we can determine what our percentages are, and that will help us move forward to actually, for lack of another word, feed what we are and improve what we are and make everything better.
Yeah.
Is that kind of correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're doing this, to a point we're doing this intuitively. You know, we, just as you said, we're attracted to certain things. You paint your bedroom a color that you're going to feel good waking up to.
Right.
Or if you pick the wrong color, you certainly know it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. What I usually do, when I'm not on TV and not in business meetings, I dress differently than I do. I try to be kind of conservative. You know, black patterns are very conservative because you can add different things to it. The only reason I'm wearing red right now, which is not me normally, is because it's the holidays. And I kind of wanted to have a little glitzy sparkle here and, you know, match the poinsettias behind me and remind all of you and myself that it's the holidays. You know, be generous, be loving, giving, notice these things. However, my natural colors are soft and light blues, you know, just very soft, light things. Apparently, I've been told by people who know of these three things, they tell me that I kind of light up and spread light and joy and all that kind of stuff. For instance, for my 70th birthday party, of course I was glowing anyway, but you know, when I'm talking to people and I'm with people, I just feel really good because I really enjoy people. And so people have told me that I'm very, what would it be, Vata? Vata pronunciation here. Please bear with me. I'm learning this. So I'm very Vata, and I'm very creative in everything that I do. I just started a blog. People have been after me to write a book. Okay, you must write a book. Well, okay. The best way to do that is today is to do it chapter by chapter and do it in a blog. So I've started a blog, and it's called From Glam to Gram.
I love it.
Because I was a celebrity, you know, very glamorous, in front of the camera, celebrity at one time in my life when I was very young. And, you know, I had kind of a glamorous life, ups and downs, as we all do. And, and now I'm a grandmother, and I love it. But I still like to have my glam moments, you know. No matter what my age, I like to have my glam moments. So it's kind of my story. And it's kind of interesting as I'm thinking about it. There's a different mix. There's no digestion. However, the digestive part, the pitta, would be in the words that I use probably that people read, and they would digest it different. I don't know, maybe. So anyway, I'm very Vata and Kapha, I think, with a little bit of pitta. Does that kind of make sense to you from the little that you know of me? Very creative. And now Kapha is?
Kapha steady.
Steady. I'm very steady, loyal. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And as far as I guess I would say pitta, you know, digesting thoughts, words, reading. Well, I do a lot of that, though. You know, this is not easy, people.
It isn't easy. I spend about 3 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours with my clients, taking in information from them to determine their constitution. So I'm looking at them in terms of their physical features, shape of lips, shape of nose, eyes, color of, you know, skin, complexion, hands, nails, fingers, but I'm also asking them questions about their physical functionality. Like I'd ask you about your appetite. Do you have a strong appetite? historically in your life, do you remember being hungry for breakfast and lunch and dinner? You know, and that would be a pitta appetite.
Right.
And what is that like now? You know, I'd ask you about your sweat pattern. So these are your physical functionings. And then I'd also ask you about your emotional patterns. So these questions would be, you know, how would you approach that book? And you did talk about it a little bit. Or how would you approach putting together this TV program? Do you put it off to the last minute because it's too overwhelming? Do you set up a schedule and get it done diligently and maybe even dole out some work to other people? Do you take your time in getting it done? Maybe you took your time to even decide if you wanted to do it, because you don't like to get into anything too fast. So these are, you know, the 3 different ways in which these characters act. So you can determine by asking these questions what type of person someone is, what type of nervous system they have, what type of body they have.
You know what's interesting about all of this, and I love it, and we're going to talk about more of it in the second half of our show, because it's time to take a break now. The thing that I love is, here is a person that you can go to if you're curious about kind of who you are. You know, you think you know who you are. We all think we know who we are. But this is actually, there's almost a science to it, which is fascinating. So we're going to talk more about that when we return. So hang in there, we'll be right back.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Up, college is hard. Down, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education. So every year I take promising high schoolers on a college tour to show them that higher education means a brighter future. My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
You can be a reader, tutor, or mentor too. Take the pledge at liveunited.org/volunteer.
Do you wear this?
And we're back. This is Marilyn Dayton, and from this CornerTV, and we have Jessica with us today. We're talking about Ayurveda. And before the break, I was saying, I think I know what I am. You know, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. But then she's telling me some things that maybe it's this instead of that. Holy cow, this is not easy, okay? And we were also talking about there are people who may want to know who they really are, because you should live your life according to who you really are. And there's actually a science to it. Jessica is helping people find who they are and live the life they should be living. And this is really fascinating. I'm going to ask her more after the show. I may want to do this, okay? So we have with us Jessica Ferrol today, clinical Ayurveda specialist, and so much more. So much more. You're working on getting a master's.
I am,
in
yes. Holistic counseling.
Well, you know, you'd be really good at that, because when you're talking to people, the 3-hour initial interview that you do, you're finding out who they are, because then you can let them know what they should be doing, what they should be eating, right? What oils they should be using. You know, the thing is, it's okay to focus on you.
Oh, yes.
Okay? Matter of fact, I think because we women are stronger today as a practice, I mean, there were a lot of strong people centuries ago that were women, but they were struggling to live the life that they felt they needed to do. Today, we have the freedom to do that. As women today, we're stronger, we're empowered. And, oh my God, we should really live the life that we should live. And I've just decided, okay, I'm going to go to her, okay? And she's going to help me do these things. And look at me, okay, I get massage therapy. I have a holistic doctor that works with, complementary with my regular doctor. I get certain types of massages for my needs. I have a nutritionist that I'm working with. I'm doing the whole thing, people. And you know what? It's a good thing. Look at me, I'm 70 years old, and I'm still going strong. I have my days. You know, we all have our days when I go, oh my God, I'm gonna relax and read a book and just kind of be with me. And that's okay. That's okay. So let's talk a little bit about this Ayurveda constitution. Okay, you said it involves everything.
It does, it does. I look at all aspects of who you are physically. So what all the functionality of your body is. I ask people about everything from their appetite to their sweat pattern to their stamina. And then I look at them emotionally. You know, let's see, how do you react to stress? Is your first reaction anxiety? Is it intensity? Is it pulling back and shutting down? You know, these are all basic qualities of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha that each of them have. This is how they show up in people. You know, we are all very different. You know, we all come to this world with our unique gifts and on our unique journeys. But when it comes to the physical body, there's definitely some cookie cutter aspects that we can pick up on to determine what your makeup of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha is.
For instance, the physical look of us, you were talking about that.
Yes, like eyes, for example. Kaphas will have those big, moist eyes. Pittas will have medium-sized eyes, and when they get overworked, they get a little red. And Vatas will have small eyes that move a lot. So these qualities, you know, the nose, the size of the nose, the size of the mouth, the shape of our hands, these are how we detect Vata, Pitta, and Kapha in the body.
So it used to be people said, well, it's my genetics, okay? Which is important, very important. But this goes way beyond that, doesn't it?
It's similar to genetics in that a person's constitution is determined at the moment of conception. Now, once we are, right after that moment, we are now part of the physical world, and we then can, if the physical world is out of balance, you know, even in mom's utero, we can get a little bit out of balance. We can be affected there. So when I am doing my intakes with clients, the physical features, those don't change unless someone has had plastic surgery. So those are very solid in my findings. The physical functionality like appetite and digestion and elimination and sleep pattern especially, those things can change if the environment is stressful or if the person isn't getting what they need for their body type.
And that's good to know. That's good to know because, you know, some people say, I only need 5 hours of sleep a night. You say, well, that's kind of strange. Is your name Aristotle Onassis? He only needed 5 hours of sleep a night. Or if you're like the President of the United States, you're under a lot of stress and you probably don't get the type of sleep that you need. You might be trying to sleep for 8 hours, but your mind may continually keep. See, we all have stressful days, or we have exciting days when things are going on, and I'm just too excited to sleep, you know. Or you fall asleep, then you keep waking up because, is it tomorrow yet? Is it tomorrow yet? Almost like a kid, you know, when exciting things are going on. I'm talking about my own life experiences here, just even recently. And I'm always excited the night before I do a show because I love doing this show. And so my sleep pattern changes, you know. And if somebody had said, imagine you're sleeping on a cloud, it probably would have helped last night.
Or given you a foot massage.
Yes. Or just, you know, massage my head or my ears to relax me, you know, and kind of, usually what I've been doing is I've been reading. You know, I climb into bed and I start reading, and I get very relaxed, and it takes my mind off of everything from the day. But I'm reading a good book right now.
I always recommend to clients, you know, if you're reading at night, it's got to be a boring, low drama book.
Well, that would be called a technical business.
There you go.
You know,
read that.
yeah.
Something that'll put you right, you almost go to sleep to escape it.
Yeah, because otherwise it's like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I go, oh my God, it's like when I used to read Harry Potter, and I just couldn't put it down. But yeah, so I should probably grab the business book. Okay, good idea. So, are there combinations of yoga and Ayurveda? It seems like when you were talking about this whole thing altogether, there was yoga that's a part of that.
Absolutely.
So, when you are helping someone, is there a part of yoga that kind of comes into play too?
Absolutely. Well, yoga is the science of the mind. So yoga is really heavily connected to Ayurveda because we use all of the yogic understandings of our emotional body to understand a person's mind, where imbalance happens, and how to bring imbalance back, you know, to center. So when we're working the mind level, it's all the yogic science. We're using those techniques, that breathing technique I talked about before, to balance the mind. That is from yoga. Yoga asana, meditation, anytime we're working on the mind level. So I will teach my clients, you know, we slowly bring these things in. I don't hand it to them all at once. You know, we set up a program of when we're going to meet about every 2 weeks, and we slowly bring things into their daily routine. And yoga asana practice is always one of those things. And I tailor a program specifically for them. They'll come for a meeting and we'll do the yoga practice. A lot of times I'll give them kind of like I'll give them a practice, but I set it up in a way that they can make changes so they don't get bored of the practice over time. I'll recommend some yoga books to them so that they can bring different poses in and out of their yoga practices. These are things that I want people to do for the rest of their lives. When they come to me, this is what we're setting up. I'm building a holistic toolbox for them so that they can grab things out of it. They're familiar with these tools, they know how to use them, and they can grab things out of it as they need. So it's part consulting and it's part education.
It sounds like it. And hopefully you're jotting down notes, okay? Because you know, when she was talking about the eyes, you know, the nose, the body that reflects, you know, the strong kapha, you know, being a big teddy bear, so to speak. I know a few of those. Yeah, and you know, there's nothing wrong with who you are. Because you're very unique, each and every one of us. So if you say, well, I'm a great big teddy bear and I'd like to, you know, not be as big and not be as teddy bearish, it's who you are. I mean, it's okay that, you know, if you want to, you know, lose a little weight, get more fit and that kind of thing, that's a good thing. But you must be proud of who you are. But in order to be proud of who you are, you need to know who you are.
Absolutely.
And you also, in a way, you're saying it's okay. It's okay to be this way because that's who you are. And if you try to change it, you're going to be very unhappy.
And unhealthy.
And unhealthy. And you know what? We each and every one of us deserve to be happy.
Absolutely.
We deserve to be healthy. You know, all of this is a good thing. So to have someone guide us is just so important. And I'm kind of putting together my own toolbox full of people that are helping me. And this sounds like it would be at the core of who I am, you know, the core of my toolbox, so to speak.
Yeah.
That everything else kind of goes around.
Ayurveda will help you to navigate even, you know, when to go to this massage therapist and when to go to this massage therapist, when to go to this type of yoga class, and when to skip that and maybe go to the aerobic class. You know, once you understand the energetics of Ayurveda, then you understand the energetics of food, the energetics of exercise, and you begin to learn how and when to bring these things in. For example, in February is a heavy kapha time of year. No matter what your constitution, we all feel heavy in February, March, right? We don't want to look at any, you know, food dish that's heavy. We just want things that are light. And we have this desire to just get outside and run, do something. At that point in time, you know, when you go to your gym or your YMCA, you might want to pick a class that's invigorating. You might want to take the spin class or the Zumba class, and maybe not take that gentle yoga class that felt so good in the fall. Because in the fall, that's the Vata time of year. And we really needed to be in that gentle yoga class to, you know, bring Vata, you know, down and grounded and calm. But when kapha year comes along, that's the opposite of what we want. We want to be sweating and jumping around and, you know, listening to exciting music. Just try it out in your home in February. It's not the Zen Buddha music you have on. You're blasting something fun to a beat that you have to get up and move around. And this is how you use Ayurveda to feel good.
Yeah. And you know, I thought I was a little weird because at different times of the year I feel different. And it's not just me, it's the way the world is, the universe, so to speak. So that's, wow, I feel better about that because I used to, yeah, exactly what you're saying. There were times when I want to turn up rock music, would you believe? And rock, you know, just jump around and be silly with nobody around but the dog staring at me, going, okay, you're weird. But smiling, because he smiles all the time anyway, which is okay. So this is okay, because this is the way it is.
Absolutely.
I never knew this before. This is... Continue, please.
It's freeing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
You know, we can get really stuck in ruts. We're faced with so many do's and don'ts with everything these days. You know, you should be doing this exercise, you should be eating this food. And it really, you know, we box all of these things in. This is, okay, this is this category, this is what I eat, this is what and it just doesn't work all the time.
No, it doesn't.
And we stay there, and we stay stuck, we stick ourselves, and Ayurveda just really breaks those walls and frees us to really begin each day with a check-in. What do I need today? You know, what color do I want to wear today? Do I want to be invigorated? You know, is it that February day where I feel, you know, dull, right? I don't want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
I'm going to wear bright orange, you know, and I'm going to jump out of bed. So it frees us. It really gives us that ability, again, and just to come in and check in. Ayurveda, yoga, it just keeps turning us inward to that place of peace.
And it's all right if you're not really flexible like me anymore.
Absolutely.
I used to be, it's kind of, yoga scares me a little bit when I see the poses. I don't understand it, of course, but it has kept me from doing yoga. I tried Tai Chi for a while, but I got bored because it was repetitive, and I don't like repetitive for that long. So what you're talking about is that you will change things according to how you feel, according to the weather, the time of year. And that's wonderful because so many people avoid doing things like me in yoga because we're afraid of getting bored, or we've tried something before and we got bored. So what good is it? Because you're not going to do it. So this gives us freedom of choice according to how we feel and how we are reacting to the universe, everything externally and internally.
Absolutely, absolutely. And yoga doesn't have to be scary.
I'm so glad to hear that.
It's very intuitive. You can do a forward bend in many different levels of forward bend.
Good.
It's really just listening to your body and allowing your body the space to relax the muscles. And that's all it is. And you use the breath to relax the muscles. And if you're straining because you're trying to look like the gal on the mat next to you, well, then you can't breathe.
Well, that's
so you're
true.
not doing yoga.
Yeah. And the thing is, listening to our own body, doing it at our own pace, gradually your body does become more flexible, doesn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And some people have said that yoga, incorporating it into your routine, and you can change up the poses and the different things that you do, that it actually is good for your body shape because it tightens muscles, it makes you more flexible and makes you feel like moving more if you're more flexible. So it's because I had heard that some people, it's not good for them to do heavy exercising a lot. And as we've been talking about, everybody's different.
Yeah.
Now, I like to walk the dog. It's fun, and it's good for me.
Yeah.
But it's not enough. There's some days when it's plenty. Then there are other days where I need to add something more here.
Yeah. And this is where, again, you're listening to your intuition, and you would add a little bit of yoga in before you walked the dog, because bringing that flow to your muscles, and warming them up and relaxing them and stretching out your ligaments, that would make your walk so much more beneficial to your body. And it doesn't have to be a big strenuous yoga session. It can be if you want, but it can just be a few stretches that you feel comfortable with, where you're breathing into your muscles, you're breathing into your ligaments, and then you can go for your walk and you're going to get that much more out of your walk.
That makes sense. Now there's also oils. We've been talking about a lot of different things, but you had mentioned oils, different oils for different people. Can you give us some examples of oils that people use and why that particular person would be using that oil for a particular reason?
Yes. So our Vata type of people, they do best with oils that are warming and heavy, because Vata tends to be light and dry. So sesame oil is a classic oil used for Vata. Best is sesame oil that's been infused with herbs. So it's undergone a marriage, if you will, with herbs that are specific for moisturizing and nourishing Vata skin. And then you also add some essential oils for that aromatherapy effect. So essential oils that are calming for Vata. And then our pittas, our fiery pittas, they do really good with oils that are cooling and light. So coconut oil, sunflower oil, these are going to be their favorites. Now if pitta gets dry, you might mix the coconut oil with something that's more nourishing, like olive oil. So it's, it's seeing what the client needs, where they're at. Many of my clients will change their oils as the year goes on. They'll call it, oh, this is my spring oil, or this is my winter oil.
Yeah.
And then kaphas need a light oil also. So they do well with sunflower oil. If they need something warming, you put mustard seed oil in there too. So it's invigorating. I find that kaphas like when I put orange peel and lemon peel, things like that, when I infuse that in their oils, because they're fruity and invigorating.
Now also, your oil will change a little bit according to the season, how you're feeling and all of that, right?
It's, in my practice, what I've noticed is some people stay with their oil all year long.
Okay.
And some people need to change. And the people who stay with their oils all year long, this is a part of my practice where I really let people use their intuition. They'll either pick from my oils or they'll make their own. I take them into my herbal kitchen and pour out a few oils for them, take out some herbs, take out my essential oils, and I let them make their own oil.
That's cool.
Yeah. They intuitively will gravitate towards the oil that they're needing. So if my Vada's using their oil all year long, their Vata oil, it's because they need it.
Yeah. This has been fascinating. I can't wait to learn more for me. And you need to think about this too, okay? I'm not forcing our audience, but I'm saying consider what she's talking about, because this is really, really cool. There is a science. It's, an ancient science that can help you figure out who you are, who you are, what you should be eating, what you should be doing. And it helps you be healthy and happy, just like she is. And I'm pretty healthy and happy, but you know what? I can be better, right?
We all can.
Now, this is wonderful. We've just got a couple of minutes left. What's coming up for you? What's happening in the near future?
Well, I'm teaching a 3-hour class in Ledyard, Connecticut at the Dragon's Egg Studio. It's on January 25th or 26th. I'm sorry, that's a Saturday. It's from 1 to 4, and we're going to be discussing the layers of the mind.
Cool.
And how to balance the layers of the mind.
So anybody can find out about it. Is it on your website?
Not yet, but it is going to be posted on the Dragon's Egg website soon, and I'm going to be working on my website in the next few weeks, so hopefully it will be there in the next few weeks.
Okay. Fantastic.
If anyone has any questions about it, they can definitely call me or email me.
That sounds fantastic. You can either email her through the website or you can give her a call, and she'll call you right back, guaranteed. Jessica, thank you so much. This has been fascinating.
It's been very fun.
Fascinating.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming, and I appreciate learning about it, because I think it can help me change my life for the better, and I'm happy about it. So if you know some people yourself that you would like to see on the show and learn more about, let me know. Send me an email. And check out the other shows on our website. And if you want to see this one again, it'll be available on our website. And like our Facebook page, check us out. I usually at this time give you upcoming events, but what I'm going to do is just wish you the happiest holiday season. It's a very special one. Everyone is special, but this year it's a special one, okay? Make it special. Share love, lots of hugs, and be happy. And join us again in our next show. And thank you so much for being with us. Happy holiday.